Hey guys, Jen here. Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm just sharing a brief testimony with you guys about what's been going on with me the past 3 years. It's a very weird title, but I've just been having a lot of health issues and just wanted to kind of give you guys a rundown of that. I'm not going to be sharing my entire testimony because it's way too long. And I know that our testimonies, we're always adding to it, so I know that anybody can be touched by a testimony that you share. So just want to share this video with you and hope that it provides some encouragement, some value to your life, because God has definitely done a work in me these past few years. All right. So the past 3-4 years, maybe even as far back as 5 years ago, I'll start there. So 5 years ago, when I was 19 years old, I was in college. I was at Old Dominion University doing rowing. I was in a relationship and I developed an eating disorder. I didn't know I had an eating disorder at the time because I thought I was doing really good for my body. I was eating healthy. I was working out. I was doing way better in my sport than I'd ever had before, but I was severely calorie restricting. Don't know how or why it never crossed my mind that I had an eating disorder, but I ended up getting really skinny, losing a lot of weight, and there was a bunch of side effects that would happen. I would start having a lot of anxiety, like panic attacks. I'd have a lot of times where ambulances were called on me because I would freak out and get into this panic attack, and people would just call 911. One time I was at the gym working out and I just kind of collapsed to the floor. Didn't know what was happening, didn't know I was having a panic attack. That was my first panic attack I ever experienced, and I called 911 on me, got the EMS there, and literally just told me that I was suffering from a panic attack. They took my vitals and everything, and they gave me a pen to try and sign myself free, like to the consent form, and I couldn't even grip the pen. My hand was like all deranged and everything, like my body was literally clamming up. But I went through all of that, and I remember being in my car one night praying. I was not supposed to go into this whole story. I'm trying to make this quick. Okay, we're gonna skip. Then at the end of it, God kind of revealed to me that I had an eating disorder, and I found veganism online on YouTube and started a vegan diet and learned that a lot of people recovered from their eating disorders this way. And as soon as I started eating more and eating healthy, that's a super healthy diet. So as soon as I started eating more food, I basically felt like 100 times better. My panic, anxiety attacks went away. I started gaining weight, started feeling happier and healthier and had more energy. But didn't stop there. I suffered from like a lot of just like low energy, and I gained a lot more weight than I really anticipated. I gained about 30-ish pounds. So yeah, what this video is really going to be about is how my energy levels have just been so like plummeted. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I've had like zero energy the past 3-4 years, and I thought that it was because I had an eating disorder and my body was recovering. That's what I really thought it was. I never in a million years thought that it would be what the doctors just recently told me. Anyway, so for the past 3-4 years of my life, like I've been extremely tired all of the time. I just like have not been myself. I have not felt happy. I've not felt alive. I've not been able to enjoy my life. Coming out of Old Dominion University, I ended up leaving that school because I could no longer compete in the sport I was in because of how sick I had become. So I came home, didn't know what I was gonna do, ended up going to Bayside for their ministry school for 2 years, and it completely transformed my life. It was an amazing experience that I can never repay my leaders for. It was absolutely incredible, and God did an absolutely incredible work in me. He still is. But during that time at Bayside College, there's a lot of socializing going on, like before and after school, and I just didn't understand why I couldn't socialize like the other kids could, like why I was so tired. And everybody else still had so much energy at the end of the day and just wanted to hang out more, and I'd want to inside, but like I just literally couldn't. Like going throughout our schedule at school absolutely like wiped me out, and I just wanted to come home and like go to sleep at the end of the day, and that's what I did. So my energy levels got worse and worse and worse. That's a lot of worses. It's really weird talking to the camera. Anyway, my energy levels just continued getting worse. And then after Bayside College, so Bayside College was 2 years. After Bayside College, I took a job as a mental health tech. And I was so exhausted all the time. I would be falling asleep at work. I literally have notes on my phone, like how I was feeling each day. And each day it says like exhausted, wiped out, feel like crap, feel like death. Like I just felt like I had nothing in me. Be falling asleep at work. As soon as I would come home from work, I get off at 3 o'clock, get home around 3:34, and I would just pass out and fall asleep and be asleep for 14, 15, sometimes even 17 hours I would be sleeping, and wake up the next morning feeling absolutely exhausted still. And that was my life for like an entire year. Well, longer than that, like 3 years. But that point was so horrible that I remember talking to God and telling him, like, I don't want to live if I'm going to feel this way like the rest of my life. Like, I can't. I literally cannot go on if I know that I'm going to feel this way each and every year going down the line. Like, I know I just can't do it. I can't physically do it. I felt so, it was the worst thing like I could ever imagine, because it's probably the worst thing I've ever gone through. And I would have rather probably been in pain than been so tired all the time, because I could not enjoy a minute of my life. It was that bad to me. So coming at the end of that job, so I was there for a year, and I went on to work for another company in Lakeland. Worked there for about 9, almost 10 months. And so during this whole process, especially when I was working as a mental health tech, during that 1 year where it was really, really, really bad, I went to my doctor's multiple times, told her everything that was going on with me, and told her I needed help. Like, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know why I was so tired all the time, and why I was so fatigued. She took all my blood levels and told me that nothing was wrong, that my blood levels were completely fine. I was completely healthy. The only thing that she could tell me to do was to take a vitamin D supplement, because my vitamin D levels were a little low. They were like borderline deficient. So that didn't satisfy me, because I knew it was something more than a vitamin deficiency. I just knew that it couldn't just be that simple. But I still took her advice, and I went to the store and I got some vitamin D, and I've been taking that faithfully ever since. I still am taking that. And I also went to an endocrinologist at that time, poured out my guts to her, telling her I was so tired, and my primary doctor couldn't figure it out and only told me that it was a vitamin D deficiency. And she did a bunch of tests on me. Everything came back fine. She told me, she was like, have you ever considered, taking antidepressant medicine, or I don't know what antidepressant meds are called. But I was like, I'm not depressed. I feel, I'm okay up in here. I have a great relationship with God, with my family. I don't know how to explain it. like, I just knew that I wasn't depressed. I knew it. Like, I knew it was a physical thing. And I just knew that because, like, I know myself and I know my body, and I had no depressive, no negative thoughts. Like, I was doing better mentally than I'd ever had been, especially coming out of ministry school and just learning how to do relationships and, how to walk with the Lord more closely. I was doing great mentally. And that just kind of like was so frustrating to hear because I was going through so much and just wanted answers so badly. And to hear that, I was like, that can't be it. Like, I'm not depressed. I know I'm not. So I kept trying to seek answers, but I took the doctor's advice and really hoped and prayed that it was a vitamin D deficiency, and that's all it was. So I took my vitamin D faithfully, and sure enough, my energy levels went up a little bit, but I took notes in my phone just to like continuously track how I was feeling, and most of my weeks I still felt pretty crappy. Like, I still felt really tired all the time, and I would complain to like my friends and my coworkers, like, I'm so tired. Like, I was like, are you tired? Like, what is going on with me? Like, trying to like get someone to maybe relate with me. Like, I just didn't understand why, like, I was so tired all the time, but it seemed like everyone else was so full of energy, and I just wanted to make sure, like, that, not make sure, I wanted to see whether or not this was like a new normal for everyone. Like, once you become an adult, like, when you're an adult, is everyone just tired all the time? Like, is that just the new normal? So I just wanted to like kind of see if that was other people's, if that's what other people were going through. And it didn't seem like it. It seemed just like it was an issue for me, and I just never was able to get enough sleep to make up for how exhausted I felt. So still throughout that entire year working with this company in Lakeland, I felt so tired. I felt like I couldn't not compete. I felt like I couldn't compete with like the job. Like, I couldn't do what it took to have enough energy to